Hey guys, welcome back to the last episode of Zero to Hero. So I know a lot of you guys haven't seen what the build looks like and how it feels to play after we made all of those crazy gear upgrades. So here is some footage of me doing a T16 map. I do have Domination active, we have the Acceleration Shrine, so it looks a little bit faster than it normally would otherwise. Wait, what? The footage we're watching has been slowed down 50%? Okay, let's see what this actually looks like at full speed. Hey guys, okay, so we're back. It's been a very long time since I last saw you, or at least in real life days. I'll do a slash played here. So, last time I saw you was around the 2-day, 20 hours mark. We are now at 6 days, 18 hours played, and I think I had all my gear upgrades finished by the 5-day mark. So let's go over what those gear upgrades were real quickly. Alright, the first thing I said I would get was the Mageblood, and that is exactly what I did. Alright, and the reason it's so expensive is it because it lets you always have your flasks active. So if I put this on, you'll notice that my Bismuth Flask, my Quicksilver Flask, Quartz Flask, and Granite Flask are all always active, and the downsides of having reduced duration or gain no charge during effect doesn't apply because the Mageblood bypasses it. So I'm going to take out all these flasks, and I'm going to show you exactly what I'm getting from that one belt slot. So, you'll see that without my flasks equipped, I have negative resistances, right? This is a Bismuth Flask, it gives us elemental resistances, I'll put it on, bam, we are now elemental resist capped. Okay, the next thing, you'll notice that my movement speed is plus 15%, right? That comes from my boots, we're very slow, it's very sad. With the Quicksilver on, we are now at 93% movement speed modifier, okay, much faster. The other thing we're getting from here is the 53% chance to avoid being stunned during effect. With the increased effect modifiers on the flask, that 53% is changed to 103%, so we are now stun immune. Okay, the other thing we got is our Granite Flask. This gives us armor, and I couldn't get a increased armor modifier on this flask, so I instead settled for the 60% reduced effect of curses during effect. Okay, once again, 60% multiplied by the flask effect gives you 100% reduced effect of curses on you during the effect. That makes you curse immune. Alright, and because I couldn't get armor on this flask, I got it on my Quartz Flask instead. So Quartz Flask gives us phasing, it gives us chance to suppress spell damage, and I put the armor mod here. So you'll notice that with the Granite Quartz combo, we go from having no armor to 7,500 armor, right? And if you toss on Determination, we are now at 21,500 armor, right? Obviously, I can't read numbers here, but that's fine. We have lots more to talk about. So that's what Mageblood is giving me, and that's why I got it first. It really does, it's like the flex tape that makes your life easier on whatever build you decide to play in the game. Now with that said, okay, Mageblood is not mandatory. I know it's a big budget item, and not all of you have the time or motivation to farm something like this. Yeah, I haven't forgotten about you guys. This build is by no means unplayable without the Mageblood. I just have to change a couple things around and give you a more budget setup. And I intend to do that in time for the upcoming League reset, so look forward to a League start version of this build in a few days. Alright, now that Mageblood has been talked about, the next thing I did was fill out my spell suppression gear. So for this build, you're going to be getting spell suppression from your boots, your gloves, and maybe your chest if you're not using the Cloak of Defiance, okay? That's really up to you. So I had to get most of mine from my boots and gloves. Let's have a look at the boots first. So for your boots, you're going to want to find a fractured base that has chance to suppress spell damage. Alright, the base type doesn't matter. Right? You don't need to get a high base type of vision boots. Obviously, it's better, but it's really not required. Right? The only thing we are looking for here is the high % chance to suppress spell damage. Okay, 13% costs you about 1 divine. 14% costs you about 3 divines, and then if you want to get this fractured onto a high base item, it'll cost you like dozens of divines. Okay, it's crazy, right? There's a reason those items are bis or mirror tier and so on and so forth, but of course you don't need those to play this build. Okay, once you have your spell suppression fractured modifier, what you're going to do is we're going to essence spam it. So we're going to open up the currency exchange here, and you're going to type in Deafening Essence of Loathing. You'll notice here that this essence, when used on your boots, gives you a chance to avoid elemental ailments. So what you're going to do is you're going to buy a couple of these, and you're going to spam it on these boots until you find some modifiers that you think are worth using. For my build, that was Maximum Life. I settled for Tier 2 Maximum Life, okay? And once you have something like this, you can benchcraft a mod that you think will be helpful. For me, that was movement speed. And because I had the money, I also used the multi-mod option. So that is, I type in over here, can have up to 3 crafted modifiers. Okay, I had 2 divines, so I put that on these boots. That let me mastercraft mana as well as the move speed. Okay, so that's where we get our onslaught, our move speed, our maximum mana. And that's how those boots are made. Alright, so I almost forgot to talk about the Eldritch Implicits here. Once you have the rare modifiers on your boots, the next most important thing you need to do is get yourself the chance to avoid elemental ailments, Eldritch Implicit. Eater of Worlds is the blue Ichors, and Searing Exarch is the red Embers, okay? You can use... let me just open up the Embers over here. So I want... Alright, so... for the chance to avoid elemental ailments, I recommend you use Grand Eldritch Ichors. This is going to cost you 4 chaos per try. Alright, I spent a couple divines getting that modifier onto these boots. I got unlucky. What can you do? Alright, so this is the Grand Eldritch Ichor that you're using for a chance to avoid elemental ailments implicit. And then for the action speed, you can just use a lesser Eldritch Ember, okay? And these are very inexpensive. You get 20 for 1 chaos. It will cost you a lot of gold though, so be careful about that. So that's boots done. Next thing I did was buy myself a pair of gloves. So for this build, everyone recommends that you have spell suppression alongside the 42% increased damage with hits against chilled enemies. That modifier is an exclusive modifier from the Temple of Atsuatl, or you have to use the Recombinator to fuse a gloves that has spell suppression with a gloves that has the increased damage mod. Okay, I don't know how to do this, so I didn't try to craft this myself. I bought a pair that had some of these modifiers, and then I ended up multi-modding it so I could get mana and increase damage during any flask effect. Right? I know that isn't the most helpful thing to tell you guys, but what I would recommend if you can't afford the increased damage with hits against chilled enemies modifier is simply do the same thing we did with our boots. Buy a fractured pair of gloves with chance to suppress spell damage, and then just use essences to craft resistances or life onto your gloves, and then you're just going to use the crafting bench to fill out mana or anything else that you might need for your build. Right? For our Eldritch Implicits, you are going to want Lightning Damage Leached as life, so that is an Eater of Worlds Implicit, that is the blue Ichors, and then you're going to want 15% chance to unnerve enemies for 4 seconds on hit. Unnerve makes it so enemies take 10% increased spell damage, alright, and that is a red Ember Implicit. If you have a Corruption on your helmet, like I do, where you can get Lightning Damage Leached as life, so let's say you're using the Katava's Thirst, then you can actually swap out your Lightning Damage Leached as life on your gloves for Spell Suppression. Okay, and that is going to decrease the tax on your passives, right? If you don't have all that Spell Suppression, you're going to have to fill out these nodes, and that's going to cost you points, and those points could be better spent elsewhere, okay? So you have to play this one by ear. It's going to vary from build to build and from person to person. So that is your boots and your gloves done. The next most important thing is the wand. We have the Profane Wand item base. That is going to give us 14% increased cast speed. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to go to the currency exchange and you're going to look for Deafening Essence of Woe. So let's see over here. Upgrades a normal item to rare. For a one-handed weapon, it will guarantee the increased spell damage modifier. So if I look at this wand, you'll see that I have 90% increased spell damage, and 131 to maximum mana. Those are the most important rolls on this wand, and then the next one that is important is cast speed. I would recommend taking a profane wand with eye level 86 and spamming Deafening Essence of Woe until you get a high maximum mana roll. Now, I might have footage of me doing this for one of my wands, and if I do, I'm going to play that, but I can't really afford to craft this again as a demonstration. Okay, so for a budget version, start with a normal profane wand that's I-86, and you have more money to spend, you can get a fractured base where you have the spell damage and maximum mana fractured on to the wand, right? And then you use the same crafting process to get the other modifiers. To give you an example of how much these bases costs, I think I paid 10 divines for this one. I really don't know if I overpaid or not. And this one I made using a fracturing orb for one of my challenges. I'm pretty sure that's like a 30 or 40 divine base. So definitely start small, right? Start with a normal wand, and then as you get more currency, you can decide what fractured modifiers you want to use instead. So I'll equip my wands back here. Right, the other important thing about this wand is I have the Haunted by Tormented Spirits modifier on it. So this is a 60 divine weapon enchant that gives us 35% cast speed and move speed. You don't need this to play the build, and you probably shouldn't put those enchants on crappy wands like this, but I was very satisfied with where the build was and what items I had, so I ended up putting it on just for my sake. I can show you my old wand from before. So this is the one we had in the previous video. If you can't afford the 60 divine weapon enchant, go and get yourself the 30% increased spell damage instead. Hey, that one's going to cost you a couple chaos, and it's going to give you a lot of bang for your buck. Okay, so the Haunted Spirits, definitely min-max stuff that you don't need. So we've talked about all of those. I want to show you my ring next. So one of my rings is Calandra's Touch. This is going to reflect the other ring we have equipped, so it's basically duplicating it. For my ring, I ended up getting a Crusader's Cerulean Ring. Okay, so this is a base that you either have to buy from someone or make using the Crusader's Exalted Orb. Now, the Crusader's Exalted Orb costs like 400 chaos, but it is one of your challenges. That's why I ended up using it to make my ring. Otherwise, you can just buy the base for 100 chaos or so from another player. Okay, once you have the base, what we're looking for here is increased spell damage, cast speed, maximum life, and mana. And the way we ended up crafting this ring is I went to the Horde crafting station. What I ended up doing was I put my rare ring here, you type in caster modifier, and for 75 blue life essence, you're going to be able to reforge the item with random modifiers, including a caster modifier. So think of this as a weighted chaos orb, right? Normally when you chaos orb an item, it's just going to randomize the affixes. When you use the Horde crafting station, it's going to randomize it, but it's going to make sure you get at least one affix that has the caster modifier. And if you look at my ring over here, the increased spell damage is a caster modifier, the increased cast speed is a caster modifier, and the rest is just RNG that we're rolling for. So I just put in that ring here, and then I pressed craft, and I kept rolling until I got the mods that you see here, which in this case, I settled for life, and I master crafted the rest. Alright, so once again, I did a multi-mod on it, and then I put maximum mana, reduced mana cost of skills, and then minimum frenzy charges. And because our build has the Calandra's Touch, alright, you'll see that if I take these off, I'll have no frenzy charges. I'm just going to let it sit for a second. Okay, so you'll see here that we have no frenzy charges, and if I put this ring on, now I have one frenzy charge, and then if I put my Calandra's ring on, I have two frenzy charges. Okay, so that's how we get our frenzy charges on this ring. Right, and once again, this is by no means a best in slot ring. It's just what I settled for with the budget I had to make this build. You can get a higher mana tier roll, so you don't have to mastercraft the mana. You can get higher spell damage, and if you're really crazy, you can get one of those mirrored, reflected rings that gives you like plus 300 to mana, right? That's like, there's a lot of crazy stuff you can do with this build. I know this is going to sound silly, but the current setup I have now is very budget for a endgame min-maxed setup. There are a lot of people doing a lot of crazy things, and if you're enjoying this build, by all means, you could do that. Right, I think we've talked about all our items so far. The last thing here is the helmet I have chosen for this build. Alright, most of you guys are going to be playing Kitava's Thirst. I respect that, right? One-button builds are amazing. For me, I just got used to the two-button playstyle, right? I didn't like it at first, but as you stack up cast speed, it just feels smooth. So I ended up going with a defensive item here. This is Elevore. Right, everybody is going to think this is a meme, but let's look at the most important modifier on this helmet, and that is recover life when you suppress spell damage. Right? If any of you are familiar with the Defiance of Destiny unique amulet, you'll know that it is absolutely cracked because it heals you when you take damage, right? The Elevore recover life when you suppress spell damage is kind of a conditional version of that mod that only affects spells. This makes you incredibly tanky when you are getting shotgunned by multiple hits. Let's say I take a hit of 1000 damage. Okay, 500 of that goes to my energy shield. The other 500 goes to my life. Because of Mind Over Matter, that 500 damage we take to our life gets split in half. So now I am taking 250 damage to my mana, 250 damage to my life, and 500 damage to my energy shield. Okay? Elevore, let's say that was a spell, is going to heal you 200 life. Alright, so your life pool is barely taking any damage at all. Alright, let me show you an example. Okay, so to demonstrate what I was talking about Elevore, I've gone here and put myself in a fight with normal Sirus. And we're gonna try and see how many of those die beams we can tank. I probably don't want to take Corruption of the Awakener though. Okay? So I'm just gonna stand here. Alright, you see that? My HP bar didn't even move. Okay, can we tank a Meteor? I don't know, let's find out. Meteor, no problem. Alright, obviously that's not because of Elevore, but this is just to show you how crazy the defensive setup can be under the right circumstances. So let's go ahead and kill Sirus here real quick. Or I guess we can take this too, sure. Alright, here he is. And... nice, okay. Let's go back to town and keep moving forward with the video. Okay, so that was the Ring and Elevore done as our helmet and defensive setup. The other things you're getting from this helmet is the chance to suppress spell damage and the 20% chance to avoid elemental ailments. Alright, and that is why I needed to get an exceptional version of the avoid ailments implicit on my boots, because I am not using Ancestral Vision to get ailment immunity. So, with all of our gear complete, I guess something worth saying here is, guys, do not use Awakened Spell Echo. So I learned today from one of our viewers, actually. Let's see here. It was Prince Valium. Apparently, Awakened Spell Echo doesn't work with Ice Nova Frostbolts in the way you think it would. The final repeat of the skill, I'm going to show you that real quick. So if I cast my Frostbolts here, right, you'll see that those repeats, they're not actually considered repetitions, they're considered expansions in the backside of the code. So the double damage from repeated skills doesn't work on Ice Nova Frostbolts, okay? So just use a regular Spell Echo, don't waste 50 Divines on this like I did. Yeah, I wish I knew that before, it would have saved me a lot of currency. Anything else worth saying here? Yeah, I think that's everything for our gear. We did swap into a defensive setup here. Cast when damage taken, Sigil of Power, and Frost Shield. So let's look at Frost Shield. This is a new addition to our build. Place a Frost Shield that drains your energy shield for 1 second, and then grants you stages when the drain occurs. Okay, the Frost Shield takes some damage from hits in place of you and allies while in its area, and it chills nearby enemies. Okay, because we have so much Energy Shield Leech on our build, we can actually use Frost Shield to mitigate some damage because the Drain Energy Shield component of this skill gem is completely bypassed by our Energy Shield Leech. Okay, so that is something I've found really nice for this build. And aside from that, all of our gems and sockets should be pretty much the same. Okay, and I did mention that I'm using the Crystal Skin Anoint for the 20% chance to avoid elemental ailments, 20 from our helmet, that's 40, and 61 from our boots. So 61 plus 40, that's 101% chance to avoid elemental ailments. That's how we get ailment immunity. Right, you are most likely going to be using Ancestral Vision and capping your avoid elemental ailments using that jewel. Okay, speaking of jewels, let's open up the passive skill tree. A couple changes here. So we did move our Corrupted Soul into the Mind Over Matter slot. We did this last video. We put in the Unnatural Instinct to get all of these passives active, and then we are still using the Light of Meaning that is giving us Chaos Resistance for our build in this slot. Okay, you'll notice that all my gear here can have up to 3 crafted modifiers. That is a suffix. If you can get these items without that suffix, if you can get Chaos Resist in that slot instead, you can actually remove this gem and put in a mana 1 instead. And then our mana pool is going to go from 9k to like something crazy. In fact, let me see if I can buy one just to demonstrate how much it goes. So give me a second here, guys. Okay, so this is going to cost me 1.5 divines to get the maximum mana version of this jewel. Thank you very much. So let's go to our hideout and see what your maximum mana pool could look like if you were to use this jewel instead of the Chaos Resist one. Okay, so we are at almost 9k mana. Put this jewel in, and we are at almost 10k mana. So this one slot could give you 1k mana, which is not bad at all. Alright, so that's what you would do if you didn't have crappier gear like I did. Alright, that multi-mod is a dead modifier. It means that all of our rares are actually 5 out of 6 instead of 6 out of 6 modifiers. So I'll put my Chaos Resist back on, and I guess for the video, let's go ahead and corrupt this. Nothing, that's fine. And I will put this in my bank somewhere. Alright, going back to our passive skill tree, now that we've talked about Light of Meaning, something new to the build over here that I've added is the Watcher's Eye. So I ended up going for this jewel slot here because I needed the dexterity for my build. So there is a flex slot, right? If you need strength, you can put the jewel here. If you need like an endurance charge, you can put it over here. And I think there's one more slot somewhere you can put it into. But yeah, so that's where you can put in your Watcher's Eye. We picked the Determination one, so I just have 990 armor while affected by Determination here. Just pick a Watcher's Eye that is synergistic with whatever aura you've decided to use for your build. Okay, you can use Wrath for more damage, you can use Grace for more evasion, you can use Determination for more armor. Okay, the reason I picked Determination is because we can get crit immunity using a Determination Watcher's Eye jewel. Okay, then you'd get a Corrupted Cloak of Defiance with another 50% reduced damage taken from crits, and then your build would be crit immune. Okay, we have a Megalomaniac slotted in to this Cluster Jewel socket over here. So for all of you that don't know Megalomaniac, it's a unique Cluster Jewel, and it gives you 3 notable passives from the Cluster Jewel passive pools. Right, so the ones I've picked is Arcane Heroism. This increases our effect of Arcane Surge, very nice. And then Mindfulness, this one's actually underrated in my opinion. It gives you a little bit of increased maximum mana, and then it gives you 80% increased mana regeneration when you are stationary. Okay, as long as you're casting, you're stationary, so that's just 80% increased mana regen, very nice. The last note on here is kind of a meme. Enemies have a chance to explode. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. It's really kind of a dead mod, so you can actually get a better Megalomaniac with 3 relevant mods for your build, okay? The hard part is finding them if they exist, because you get these from Simulacrum. So that said, I think that's it for the upgrades we've made. If you guys are still struggling with crafting some of these items, I can do a demonstration video on how to make some of these. We'll have to do a budget version because, as you can see, I don't have the most money here. But yeah, I can show you that in a separate video if you'd like. Just let me know in the comments down below. Okay, but with that said, I'm going to cut to the footage of us trying Ubers for the first time with this build setup. Of course, I had filmed that before I am doing all these gear upgrades, but I'm using the same set of gear for the footage you are about to see. And I guess the last thing I will say before I show the Uber footage is, guys, I know you have been asking for a Kitava's Thirst version of this build, and I know that a lot of you are going to be looking for a version of the build that doesn't use Mageblood and all of these expensive items, okay? So I've got you covered. I'm going to be working on that over the next few days, and expect that video up before League start on November 7th. So with that said, let's go do some Ubers. Hello everybody, and welcome to the grand finale of the 0 to Hero series. It has been a long time coming. We have upgraded every piece of our gear. I'll just quickly mouse over stuff here. So, in my inventory, you'll see here that I have one of every Uber set. I've ordered them from what I think is least difficult to what I expect to be most difficult, because we have not done all of the Ubers in Path of Exile. So this is going to be a first for me. Expect me to die a lot, but hopefully we can get the clear. Otherwise, we're going to be down a couple of divines, because I do think these have a market value of a couple divines for some of these fragments. So, this is going to be fun. I did finally end up putting Arcanus Brand into my build, so I tried it out, and it is incredible for bossing. I would not recommend you use this for mapping, but for bossing, it seems like a must-have. So I'm just gonna swap out Unleash for Arcanist Brand, and then instead of self-casting Frostbolt, we're gonna put down Arcanist Brand, and yeah, hopefully everything works out well. I'm just gonna check my Pantheon here because I do remember having it set differently for mapping. So let's take Soul of Aberrath, so we have unaffected by burnt ground. And what else is there to say? Do we just go for this? I think we do. So let's start with a pretty easy one. This is Synthesizing Fragment, so Uber Cortex. Let's go. Okay, we're here at the portal. Maybe I'll full clear the map after. I don't want to do that on vid right now. So let's go into the portal and let's do our first Uber fight. So we're gonna go here. We're gonna wait for some RP to play out. And yeah, I think the only difference in this Uber fight is that we're fighting more of the bosses at the same time. And then, of course, we will have the 70% damage reduction ongoing, so we'll have to deal more DPS. So I'm just going to precast my Arcanist Brand. Then I'm going to put Punishment on the boss, and then we're going to start blasting. And that should be the first two down. I don't think I want to tank any slams here, so let's not do anything stupid. Right, the build is pretty tanky. You can stand in stupid stuff. You'll see me do that later, maybe with Shaper, but still not advised. Right, you might get crit. I am not crit immune, or you might get some nasty debuffs stacking up on you. That's also a possibility. Alright, looks like the ad phase is done, so we'll put down our Arcanist Brand again. And then spam Punishment, and then just start blasting. And yeah, if your Arcane Sigil, or whatever the thing is called, procs, stand in it, you will take less damage and deal more damage. So, yeah. Oh wait, is that it? Oh, okay. Okay, that went faster than I thought it would. I thought there was more mods or mobs there, but no, that was it. So that is Uber... What's his face? Uber Cortex. So, yeah. 1 out of 7 done. I'm gonna go clear this map, and then I will see you guys for the next part. Okay, I've cleared the map. Let's go into the next one. So this is gonna be Uber Eater? No, Uber Exarch. Okay, so I do remember from when I did this from the challenge that the ball phase is quite awful. So if you see me die a couple times to the balls, I'm sorry. But yeah, I'm not a bosser, I'm not a great player. And we're just gonna get the kill and then GTFO. Okay.
Annihilation.
Alright, let's kill this ad really quick. Alright, and now we try to dodge as much balls as we can. Oh, okay. Looks like I just got wombo comboed there. So if he doesn't ball face, just wait for it to finish. Looks like he's gonna explode. So let's wait for that to pass. Okay.
Disintegration. Cleansing. The fires of 1,000 suns.
Alright, another ball phase. Get rid of this ad and try to do it better this time, I guess. Man, I don't know how people do this crap. Oh, there's so much shit. Oh.
Annihilation.
Is there supposed to be balls right now? I don't know what's happening. I can't see him. So...
Disintegration.
Jeez, he's just gonna sit there in the middle. Okay.
Incineration.
Oh, no, dude.
Annihilation. Disintegration. Cleansing.
Okay, so we got the kill. Very sloppy, right? I really don't know how to do that ball phase all too well. Maybe there's a trick to it, maybe you guys got some advice, or maybe I'm just a bad player. But either way, that is Uber Exarch. You can see that we definitely have the DPS to kill him, and we also can tank most of his stuff, except the big explosion, and of course, the ball phase. So, next one is going to be Eater. This one I have not done before, so let's put that in. This will be interesting. Ooh, that's spicy, what the heck? I can't... okay. Ooh. Oh no. Ooh. That is a bigger AoE than I'm used to. Okay, looks like we gotta run the little obstacle course here. Whoa. This is interesting. Okay. Alright. Oh god. Those drowning orbs really sneak up on you. Oh no! No! Okay, we gotta run the little circle obstacle course again. Okay. Wow, this fight just gets out of hand very quickly. Oh no! I'm just gonna try to kill him here. Okay, there it is. Whew. Interesting. Okay, so I don't really know which parts of that fight I can tank and which parts I should run up from, and I don't have the DPS uptime. I'm sure that while he's doing some long animation, you can sneak in some casts, so definitely need a lot more practice with this one. It doesn't seem too bad though. That's actually easier than the Exarch, because no ball phase. Okay, so that is Uber Eater done. Next up we have whatever this one is. I don't know if it's Elder or Shaper, so let's go find out. And here's all this loot. Cool loot. I don't really know what it is.
I see you, little mouse.
Okay, so it looks like it's Shaper. So I'm just gonna see you guys when the Shaper fight starts. I'll go clear these ads real quick.
Is your final warning.
Alright, we're starting the fight now.
My hand again, little mouse.
We'll put down our Arcanus brand.
You've chosen to side with chaos. This is my world, and you shall obey my order.
And start casting Punishment.
Ultimate chaos.
What's going on here? Oh, okay. That's interesting. Ooh.
Insignificant.
Is this another... Oh, okay. Alright, cool. So we got him through phase 1. And once again, guys, I really don't know what I should be tanking and what I should be dodging. Obviously, the Shaper Slam is something you should dodge. This build doesn't have a lot of physical damage mitigation. We do have a large EHP, but no damage taken as elemental or chaos or anything like that. So I don't want to risk getting one shot by the Shaper Slam, if at all possible. And the beam seems okay to tank as long as we're leeching. And I'm not sure if the little projectile balls that he shoots does a lot of damage or not. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. So if any of you Uber Andes know what's going on and how I should better play this build for Uber fights, let me know in the comments below. Right? I am also trying to learn and get better at the game.
The face of your unlady.
Father, it's me. Let me help you.
The horror must be stopped. Obstacles destroyed.
Alright, so there's the Shaper Beam tank. This looks like the ball phase, so let's try and avoid this. Ooh. Where'd he go? I don't know which one's the real one here. I can't tell. Oh, there it is. Sneaky Shaper Slam. Like, oh, okay, there we go.
Insignificant.
Okay, next phase. For the last one, I'm going to try and tank those Shaper Balls. See how it feels. Where did they go? Okay. Is there a mob here? This place is like a mess.
Memories are mine. I cannot lose them.
They lie to you, Father. I'm your true memory.
To save the future, the past must be sacrificed.
Alright, let's just tank everything. But not the slam, not the slam. Never the slam. Alright, looks like ball phase is coming up. Ooh, that one stings. Okay, don't tank those. Alright, there it is. There's the fight. That was pretty easy. Vanguard belt. Okay. Also never seen that in my life. And on to the next one. So this one is going to be Uber Elder. Put that in. And then I don't know about Sirus and Maven, guys. I'm a little nervous. Yay.
I may not run.
Father, no!
Putrefy, wrong, spoil, and best.
Exile, do something!
Okay, looks like Shaper is the first one who I'm going to be DPSing. And then Elder is up. They're both eye-phased now, I think. So let's be careful here. Oh, ooh, ooh. I can't see anything. Yeah, it looks like they're both immune right now. So let's just do the ads. We don't want the floor to get covered in crap. I think Shaper might be back up. He's doing some kind of bullet hell thing, though. Okay, looks like Elder is now back up. Oh, this one's bad. We don't want to stand in that. Ooh. Alright, they're both eye-phased again. And Elder's doing his slam, so let's be careful. Somebody back up? Can't tell. Shaper's back up? Okay, Elder's back up now. Alright, I am sorry for the visibility here, guys. Trust me, I can't see what I'm doing either. I think you're supposed to buy like a Ice Nova MTX or something, and that's supposed to help you see things a bit better. Is somebody dead? Are these guys dead? Hello? Oh my god. Ooh. Okay. Is that the fight? Did we do it? Oh, that's cool. I don't know what this is, but I will take these. Okay. That was fun. That was fun. Obviously, it would be cooler if I could see stuff. Here, let's see if I can find that MTX I was talking about. It's skill effects over here. You type in Ice Nova. I think one of these makes it so you can see actually like what you're doing. I'll have to find out what it is because this is ridiculous. Alright, into the portal we go. We got our loot. And map device. Next up is Sirus. Oh god, okay. So I've heard bad things about this fight. Let's go find out for ourselves. And if we can't finish it because I'm bad, well, that's okay too, right? I'm not expecting to one-shot everything on my first try. Okay, so let's go inside and start the fight. I really don't know what's different here versus the normal Sirus. The normal one isn't very funny. Oh, okay, okay. Alright, so we're here in the middle.
A real talent. You finally caught my attention.
Where'd he go? Oh my god. Oh! Okay. I can't even see him. He's like hiding in like balls and stuff, man. Am I supposed to run from this? He didn't even take any damage. How is he phased? Okay. Oh my god.
The others found strength in their projections. They became reliant.
Okay, it looks like he's phasing again. Oh, he pushed me into the ball. Okay. Okay, we got him.
Really interesting enough to warrant all this pain.
Why run? What's the point?
Is he phasing again? How is he phased like 50 billion times?
Fury of the cosmos, be again. You are nothing.
Yet see the futility of your efforts.
Your lives are meaningless.
There's no way that this is the fight. It's just he just phases every like 10%. That's so obnoxious. Okay.
Everlasting fire.
Oh, okay. I mean... Okay. So, I don't know, I just spent the entirety of the fight running around watching him phase, so I think I might have been doing something wrong, or maybe the fight's just really that poorly made. Loot looks pretty cool though. We got some jewel, we got some orbs. These orbs are worth big money. So, yeah, there is Sirus. I don't really know how to form an opinion on that. I must be doing something wrong, guys, because that fight was just I phase after I phase after I phase, until he finally got to his second form, and then we just kind of clapped him, so... Yeah, there is Sirus. Also, now we're back in town. I think that leaves one more Uber fight for us to do. That it should be Maven. So, let's see. Right. So this one should be fun.
The prize piece comes to join.
My collection.
Stand still.
Ooh, that was bad.
A cascade of pain.
Am I gonna die this early into the fight?
Do what I say.
Oh. Okay, we survived.
Stand still.
Oh, nice. I put the... I put the orbs in the middle there. Oh my god. Okay.
Space aligns.
Well, I'm gonna say that this build is maybe not the best for doing this fight just because you can't see anything.
My collection.
Like, what's happening? I don't know. Can you guys tell? Oh, that looks fun.
Death will not be an escape.
Okay. This is memory game. Okay, start here, go there.
Scurry,
Oh, that one's
scurry.
pretty easy. This, and this.
A cascade of pain.
Ooh.
Stand still.
Oh no, I don't want to get hit by that.
Death made real.
Oh,
A cascade of pain.
my brands aren't proccing on her.
Say, take this. Stand still.
Oh, I got hit by,
This will be punished.
okay. Well, at least we got hit by the degen beam at this part of the fight.
Scurry. Scurry.
My irritation is growing. Stand still.
Oh, don't get hit by that. Ugh.
Death will not be an escape.
I think memory game is coming. Alright, let's see. Oh no.
Scurry, scurry. A cascade of pain. Do what I say. Stand still.
Death made real. Stop resisting.
Okay, so I think we got into the last phase, so we shouldn't see those ice things anymore, hopefully. Let's find out.
Punishment in escape.
But memory game might be a little bit tough, because I did not manage those well at all.
I am victorious.
Okay, so this should be a final phase.
This will not be an escape.
Oh, memory game. Oh.
Scurry, scurry.
Oh, no. Okay, so I goofed that. Let's get back into the fight as quick as possible.
Take this. Stand
Oh, nice. I got hit by the beam. Where is she? I don't know.
A cascade of pain.
Oh no.
Take this.
Okay. Oh, I got hit by her again. And now I'm dying to degen. Ooh. That was unfortunate.
This will not be it.
Do I just wait for her to go to memory game, or what do I do here? Okay, it looks like she's doing memory game, so I'm just gonna AFK in Grace.
Scurry, scurry.
Okay. Do. I know it's a bit cheese here, guys, but I honestly cannot see what is going on. So, yeah. Okay. Looks like she is... Oh, I got hit by it. Rip. My brands are not attaching.
The prettiest piece makes the whole.
That is frustrating.
Take this. Stand still. This will not be an escape.
Okay, it looks like a memory game.
Scurry, scurry.
Wow. Ah! Oh, okay. That's convenient. Oh well, getting hit by it is not. Screw it.
Do what I say.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? What mechanics? Just, you know, get enough DPS to do that, I guess. Okay. Cool. So that is Maven. Uber Maven done.
Continues to play.
Not a fun fight, in my opinion. I cannot see what is going on, but we did it. We did it. And I goofed the memory game a couple times. I ran into some things that I shouldn't have, but that is all 7 Ubers complete. Let's open up the challenges. Ultimate Usurpers. There we go. That is my first time doing some of these fights in Path of Exile, guys, and I think that is where we shall conclude the series. So, /played. 6 days, 11 hours, 55 minutes, 26 seconds, level 100, 40 complete. And with Ubers complete, that concludes the Zero to Hero series. I just want to give a big thank you to everyone who has been watching, whether you started with the first video on Acts 1 to 5, or you started somewhere halfway in the series. I hope that you've learned something about the game, or just enjoyed watching me play through it. I am very satisfied with this series. It's challenged me both as a Path of Exile player and as a content creator, because as some of you guys can tell, I've been trying to make a video every day for the last 9-10 days. So, enough of me rambling. Thank you guys again. I'm going to leave you with some footage of me doing my very first and only 50 million shipment of this league. So enjoy the loot reward there, and I will see you guys soon with a league start video for the Ice Nova of Frostbolts Hierophant.